Welcome to a session I'm calling Mountain Yoga. We will be visiting poses such as mountain pose to ground us, give us that sense of earth element, strong, supported, secure. And we will begin, you guessed it, in mountain pose. Legs together, standing at the front end of your mat. Inhale, let's reach the arms up high to the sky, looking up to the clouds, interlacing fingers, index and thumb released, bending one knee and then the other. Let's exhale and dive forward over those legs, touching down to the earth with the fingertips, hip width apart in the feet and legs. Relax the head and neck. Breathe in, hands to shins as we lift the heart forward and up, and exhale, folding into the legs, bending one knee, then the other, planting those feet into the earth. Hands onto the mat. Take a step back into downward dog. Lifting and lowering the heels at the same time, keep the arms strong, pushing down, legs straight, tailbone high. Walk the dog, bending one knee, then the other. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhale into plank and exhale back into down dog. Move from one pose to the next. Inhale, plank, shoulders on top of hands. Exhale, pike, hips high, downward dog. Dropping knees down now from plank pose. Inhale, bend, exhale, extend. Bring both knees down, sit back to the heels, child's pose. Forehead drops, settle in, sink into the support from the ground. Breathe calmly. Inhale, coming up into quadruped, cat pose, rounding and extending the spine. Drop head and tail as you round. Lift the crown and the tail as you extend. Breathing smoothly from one range of motion to the next. Looking over one shoulder, see if you can see the foot on that side and then the other side, allowing for a gentle side body bend. Extend one leg back behind you, opposite arm forward. Superwoman pose. Stretch those limbs long. Bring the hand down, swivel so you're in a modified side plank pose. Looking to the clouds, let's really open and sweep that arm back and behind us into a full arm circle. Coming back into quadruped. Now the other leg and opposite arm extends. Can look forward beyond those reaching fingertips and lift up from the abdomen. Press down with that bottom hand and knee. Open it up into that modified side plank. Sweeping that top arm, opening. Big slow motion arm circle, reaching back overhead. Before returning to center. Establish plank pose. Breathe in. Breathe out. Bend elbows through chaturanga. Coming all the way down onto your front body. Point the toes softly behind you, elbows up, palms under shoulders, visit a cobra pose. At the top, we'll look from side to side, keeping neck mobile. Lift the legs, engage the glutes and hamstrings, Float the arms reaching back to those toes, palms in. Then open the arms wide to the side like an airplane, and finally sweeping them overhead, palms face in, thumbs up. Enthusiastic arms and legs. Sweeping arms back before placing hands down. Let's bend the knees, swaying legs and hips side to side for a moment. Extend the legs. And pressing up higher now into upward facing dog. Look to the sky. Let's lift the chin high. And again, looking over one shoulder, then the other, letting a gentle sway occur in the hips. Exhale, pressing up, downward dog. Walk the dog. Inhale, lengthen one leg up, bending that knee. Rotate the hips open, extend the leg, feeling a nice stretch in the hip flexor. Arms strong. Walk the hands all the way back to that supporting foot into standing split. Maybe the hands can hold on to that supporting leg or just one hand. Keep lifting and activating that back leg and then lower it behind the supporting leg. Wrapping arms around for a forward bend. Little trickier to balance. Can use a focus point, staring at something on the ground. Inhale, walk the hands forward and take that back foot stepping forward into pyramid pose. Parallel legs, toes forward. Inhale, lift the heart and exhale, fold forward into that leg. Try to square the hips. Turn that back heel in. Reach the hands. Find the back hamstring or calf. And then hugging onto that front leg. Let's toe walk the front toes forward. Opening this up into a twisted lunge. Pop that back heel, rotating towards the front knee. Open up the chest and heart. Look to the sky and take that top arm, reaching forward and down. Coming all the way up into high lunge. Fingertips to the stars. Focus point on your horizon. Front knee bending. Back leg lengthening. Interlace palms, turn palms upwards. Big breath in. Exhale, control hands back down to the mat. Walk that front leg back halfway on your mat, turn towards it, and find that modified side plank. Bring that top leg on top of the bottom inner thigh. Reach the top arm overhead. Bring the top leg behind you into wild thing. Let the spine arch. Let that top arm do that slow motion circle before returning into forward bend. Bending one knee, then the other. Find your grounding, settle into chair pose, knees bent, palms facing in, fingertips lift, and little pulses with those arms, back and back, energizing the back of the shoulder. Come up to standing and place the hands on the low back, pressing hips forward, back bend, let the head drop if it feels okay, and the chest and heart open ecstatically. Exhale, folding forward over the legs, hands to shins. Inhale, lift the heart halfway up. Exhale, fold into the legs, release the head and neck. Inhale, walk it back into downward dog. Strong arms, anchored heels. Let's inhale, lift leg number 2 up into that three-legged dog, bending the top knee. Let the rotation occur in the trunk of the body, extending top leg, hip flexor stretch. Walk the hands back to that supporting leg into standing split. If you've got a great balance and focus point, you could try holding on to that supporting leg or foot with one hand or both. Bring that top leg just behind the supporting leg and see if we can hug the legs, pulling chest closer, releasing the head, breath and balance. Focus and stay calm. And now that back leg is going to step forward. Pyramid pose. Legs are parallel, hips are square, folding into the front leg. Turn your back heel in, reach those arms to connect to the back calf or hamstring. Release the head and neck, soften the shoulders, strong anchored legs. Inhale, hands return to the mat and toe walking the front foot forward. More space between the legs now. Pop up that back heel, twisted low lunge. Open the heart, look to the sky, bending into the front knee, pressing back into that back heel. Draw that top arm overhead, returning to the mat, coming up higher. High lunge. Energize the fingertips. Interlacing, turn the palms to the sky, gaze is higher, front knee bends lower, back heel presses away. Happy thoughts. Drop one hand down and walk that front foot back halfway on your mat, modified side plank, T-shape arms, hips stay high. As that top leg finds the bottom inner thigh, try not to push on the knee. Top arm reaching overhead, try to arc the side body. Place the top foot behind you, moving into a back bend, wild thing pose. Pelvis lift, heart open, arms swooping around, coming back to the center. Walking legs forward into a forward fold. Bend the knees, chair pose. Breathe in. Those pulses recruiting the back of the shoulder. Bring the arms back and back and back. And exhale, deeper lunge, looking down, palms to the sky. Little tricep pulses now, pulsing up and up and up, and then T-shape arms, find those rhomboids in the upper middle back, and pulse and pulse and pulse, coming all the way to that mountain pose, hands on the low back sacrum, standing back bend, press hips forward, soft knees, throat and heart opener, and return to mountain. Breathe in. Breathe out. Some single leg balancing. Float one leg up, holding the back of the leg as we circle the foot. Extend the leg forward and then sweep it back behind you into warrior three, T-shape arms. Drop the same side arm down as that supporting leg. T-shape arms, stack shoulders and hips. As we come into half moon, maintaining our balance back into that standing single leg balance. Find the floating foot, the same side hand, and open it to the side. Enthusiastic arms and legs, strong core, maintaining the balance. If you can, you'll look away from that leg and then place the foot on the opposite inner thigh. Tree pose, hands to heart center. Breathe in. Press the arms up higher to the sky. And bring palms together as one arm crosses in front of the other. Squeeze the biceps into the side of the head. Crossing that top leg over the supporting leg will slowly lower, folding forward, fingertips or palms to the ground. Hips high, supporting leg has a soft bend in the knee. Breathe and focus. That single supporting leg is like the mountain pose in its energy and confidence. Let that top leg just fold now in front of the bottom leg, keeping the heel popped as we hold on to both legs and inhaling all the way up to standing mountain pose. Float the heels up, floating mountain, big toes pressed down. And reach the arms all the way up and open. Breathe in. Leg number 2, bend the knee up, holding the back of the leg and circle the foot a few times each direction. Exhale, extend the leg forward, both legs straight as we release the arms and sweep that leg behind you, warrior 3. Find your focus point on the ground, and your strong arms are helping you maintain the balance. Drop one hand down, stacking shoulders and hips. Half moon. You can look down or up or halfway in between. Back leg is staying energized. Come all the way up to standing. Maintain your single leg balance as you find that floating foot, the same side hand, opening it into a side split, looking the opposite direction. Stay calm, be with your elements of air, earth, water, and you'll need a little fieriness. Bring that foot to the opposite inner thigh, tree pose. Float arms up, crossing one hand in front of the other so palms are connected and arms are squeezing in. Let your supporting leg feel like a mountain pose. And now take that top leg to cross over the supporting leg with a wide knee as we sit back like a single leg chair, releasing arms, fingertips, hands lowered to the ground. You can bend supporting knee as much as you need to. Let the top leg connect to the ground with a popped heel, wrapping arms around both legs. Forward bend. And sweeping all the way up, reach arms high to the sky. Lift that leg one more time before returning into mountain pose. Hands at heart center. Let's press palms forward, opening out to the sides as we float the heels. Balance, breathe. Lift the hands higher, gathering up all that positive energy, palms together, and draw them straight down through heart center. Take a wider stance on your mat, external rotation, dropping hips down, knees out to the side, hands on thighs, and we'll just shift a little side to side. Arms open to a T, palms up. Pop the heels, move into goddess pose. Back of hands floating on top of the crown, thumb and index fingers together. Bend the knees more, lift the heels higher, and straighten everything up and open parallel legs. And we'll fold over those legs with interlaced hands. Squeeze the shoulder blades, let the head drop, heels sink, tailbone lift to the heavens. Breathe in. Looking from side to side, let there be a natural rotation in the shoulders and trunk of the body. Maybe a little swaying motion. Hands to the outside of the heels. Place one hand down to the center and let's open up that other arm to the sky before reaching forward and folding to the opposite leg. Both legs straight. The hips want to lean to that side, but try to keep them in the center. Maybe there's contact with the nose or forehead to the shin. And now the other hand presses down in the center and we open that up, twisting and reaching the top arm forward, eventually to the opposite leg. Both hands will move to that leg and we'll bring the chest and trunk of the body over, but try to maintain center with the hips. Breathe here. Feet are planted. Both hands in the center. Let's straighten the arms, reach the heart forward, and exhale, hands to ankles or heels, and we'll fold into that wide straddle forward bend. Breathe. Heel toe the feet closer together. Hip width apart. And bring the feet on top of the palms, toes to wrists, fingers to heels. Inhale to look forward, lifting up a little, and exhale to fold into the legs. Let the spine be long, gently rounded. Let the breath flow down the back towards the tailbone. Release the palms. And then moving into crow pose. Bend the elbows and find the knees connected to the triceps. Looking down, see if you can lift those feet from the ground. And then dropping into a low squat balasana pose. Elbows pressing into the knees, hands at heart center. Lift the chest. Drop hips. You might need something underneath the heels if you're finding the heels are lifting from the floor. Inhale to look up and exhale, hands to the mat. Gently swaying, subtle motion from side to side. Feel the ground as you extend the legs and arms. Internally rotating the legs and feet and hips. Hands to the ankles or calves. Hands to the hips, press down to lift up, establishing mountain pose. Hands on your low back. Let's move those hips in a circular motion. Front, side, and back, side. Reverse the direction. Legs straight. Feet anchored. Keep your posture and your breath. Little bouncing, lifting heels up and down, shaking out those arms, letting go of any tightness or tension, finding some playfulness, bending one knee, then the other, getting bouncy, but still connecting to your earth. Feet together, legs squeeze in. Let's inhale, arms up, reach for that opposite wrist and draw the arm over to the side, blowing palm pose. You can look down or up to those reaching arms. Squeeze heels in, inner thighs centered. Release the arms, maintain the side bend, folding bottom hand across the low back and top hand to the back of the head. Press your head into the hand and your low back into the arm. Return to center. Release the arms. Bringing palms together behind the back, or you can reach for opposite elbows. We'll fold over those legs again, looking to the toes, and then releasing the head. Stay still. Bend the knees, coming into chair with those same arms, and then back into mountain. Open the arms into a T and rotate from the shoulders, palms up, palms down. Inhale, floating arms up. Let's reach for arm number 2, hand to the opposite wrist. Pull some more length out of the side body, hip and shoulder. The legs squeeze into the center and the hips press in the opposite direction. Find that nice arc in the side body. Looking down or up, release the arms, head is in the center. Bottom arm folds behind the back, top hand to the back of the head. Breathe in. Press into those arms. Return to center. Reaching for opposite elbows now and folding over the legs. Press big toes down. Let's shake out the head a little, side to side. Bending knees. Hold on to the elbows in chair pose and then release the arms coming up. Hands to heart center. Find mountain pose. Close the eyes. Stay calm, centered, still, and focused. Breathing into all of the elements on the outside and on the inside. Pushing arms up to the sky. A few shoulder rolls here. Thank you so much for joining me. Until next time.